I can't claim to know anything for sure. So what I'd like to say is many things we don't understand about reality and the universe as it's continually discovered through quantum physics and such. Physicists work, we don't know. So I can't claim to say that I know there'll be a God behind it, or I know that there wouldn't.
No, I'm going to be able to talk like this. It's fine, isn't it?
I have no idea. So I'm interested in people's ideas and how they and what value they have and what they represent. So that's why I want to talk to you.
Even given this position that you have, you accept that people are part of reality. Reality exists.
As far as I can tell, I think therefore I am.
Because I was one obsessed.
I'd like to say I was a critic.
It's very important to understand our positions. For example, if I don't believe or know that this is real, then everything that I explain is not understandable. There are some people who say reality doesn't exist. Do you think these are illusions or they are really real?
Well, it's quite a deep philosophical point, and it has been discussed quite a lot, but it is
From your standpoint.
the classical Descartes, like you said, I think therefore I am. I know that something is processing something, but I can't prove that everything else exists.
Do you consider, consideration can come from faith, consideration can come from knowledge and evidence. Do you consider reality exists in any way, form or shape?
Okay, that I can think, that exists, and I'm perceiving reality. So,
Are you certain reality exists or you only
no,
think?
not certain.
Right. So we need to talk about in terms of how do we achieve certainty. Is it possible to achieve levels of certainty?
Well, that's a tricky one, man. And I mean, if we take the first idea you're saying, as in do I believe reality exists? Let's say I do. Like, oh, this is going on right now.
It's important to actually give our honest opinion about what we consider to be our understanding of things around us. I mean, obviously, you're having an image of the reality, even though you don't consider it's real. There's some image that's going through, right? You're interacting, you're hearing voices, you're seeing things.
Sure.
How can you be certain that these things are part of reality, other than you're just having a dream?
You can't.
You can't.
No, technically you can't.
So, isn't there any way to differentiate whether you're a brain in a jar in a museum?
As far as I'm aware, there's not a way you can do it. No, but we could go on the premise that it does exist, and we can continue.
This is how you behave in everyday life, because you need to be consistent in your approach. If you are not sure whether you actually have a brain in a jar, you know what I mean? A jar in a museum is a brain, and that brain is actually having this image, illusion, thinking that having a discussion with speakers will know, but actually it's just there, a brain in a jar, and say in a museum, in a hospital there. So if you're not sure, then it would be very tricky for you to live your life by, unless you have a certain form of consistent life. If you're not sure, then what is your modus operandi? How do you operate things? When you go and buy food, what do you think is going to really quench your hunger, the drink that you have? Or do you go buy food and I'm not sure, am I buying it? Is it going to be really going inside me and nourish me and make me feel no more hungry or no more thirsty? When you go and cross the road, do you really think that actually these cars don't exist? So if I walk, I'm not going to be run over. There is no such thing as accidents in hospital. How do you really consistently approach your life?
Okay, well, there's two things. The first is, all I'm saying is you can't prove it, which we can't. The second thing is, how do you approach your life? Well, we're all choosing the way that we live, and we're running on...
How do you live your life? Do you really think that when you cross the road, that actually none of these are real?
Okay,
possibly
yeah.
not real?
I'm running on the assumption that it is.
So you're assuming things are real?
Yes.
Why?
Yes. Why? Well,
Why assume?
I'm not sure this is going to go anywhere, but...
It's important to know. Why do you assume things are real? When you cannot be certain about the reality. It's important to understand this concept. Why do you assume... You see, when your everyday life, when you want to meet someone, for marriage, for example, you assume she exists, she's real. You don't think it's just an illusion. When you go for a job, you want to get a salary at the end of the month, you assume the salary is going to be real. You assume in your everyday mundane life these things. when it comes to God, when it comes to heaven and hell, when it comes to hereafter, you don't give that same kind of assumption. You don't assume God exists. You don't assume heaven exists. You don't assume hell exists. You don't assume day of judgment exists.
No,
You have a different
that's
consistency.
a great question.
Why is this inconsistency?
Well, because if we're to go on that premise, the things you describe, as in the food, the money, and the car, and the road, and the trees, I can perceive these things. I can physically perceive them. But the ideas of God, maybe I cannot physically perceive them. It doesn't mean I don't think that they could exist, because I do think they could exist. But it means that I can't actually perceive them, I can't test them. You know what I mean?
How can, so when you talk about testing, do you believe in empiricism?
Yeah, absolutely.
Then you're not really someone who says reality doesn't exist. The whole principle behind empiricism is that reality exists, number one. It can be explained rationally, and we can test it. If you say reality doesn't exist, or maybe doesn't exist, maybe it exists, you're agnostic about it, and whether it's rational or irrational, you're agnostic about it, then you can't believe in empiricism. You can't believe in any kind of testing.
Sure you can.
No, you can't.
Well, the
What
first...
are you testing? How can you test something that doesn't exist? Tell me.
You can't.
But why are you applying the test when you're not even sure whether it exists or not?
Right. It's coming back to, they say, like the brain in the jar. We can't prove either way, but there's no purpose in assuming that we are. If we assume we're just a brain in a jar, then maybe none of our decisions have consequences, but they clearly do. So we can run on the active assumption in our daily lives that things are real, and that's what I'm saying.
So you assume you're not a brain in a jar. We're having a discussion now.
Well, I could assume both at the same time. I could
I
be and
want
I
to
could not.
know your honest opinion. Do you really think you're having a discussion really in Speaker's Corner, or you're just having a discussion in your brain in a jar?
Okay. Okay. Well, I don't have strong evidence either way.
I'm not asking for evidence. I'm
That's
just
really
asking
the
for
key.
your honest opinion.
My opinion is
Your
worthless.
not opinion. I'm asking for your honest statement on this matter. Be honest to yourself, because it's truly integral to any discussion we have that you are considering yourself on the level of integrity. That yes, I'm considering myself a brain in a jar, and that's why I think I'm having a discussion. Or I really consider that this is a discussion having a Speaker's Corner.
Well, again, I mean, if anyone else is familiar with this argument, you should probably know that the point of it is that you cannot tell for sure.
Which one are you going by? None
Well,
of
I'm
them?
currently living by the one that reality is real and objective, yeah.
So basically, your approach consistently is the world is real, the world is rational, we're having this discussion. Then I am asking you, take that assumption that and also extend it to things that you cannot see, because you can still test things that you cannot see. There are various ways of testing things. For example, like I can clearly say there are no married bachelor in any corner of our universe. If a corner exists in our universe, I don't have to test it. I'm positive and I'm certain.
Okay, a contradiction. Right, okay.
See,
Sure.
based on a certain principle.
Okay, no,
So
I'm with you.
yeah, so likewise, just because you haven't seen God, you haven't seen heaven and hell, doesn't mean you can still have a really good and clear conception of them and be convinced of their reality.
Right,
This is
you
where
can have a
prophets
clear
and messengers.
conception.
This is where prophets and messengers come to convince us of the information of the unseen. Our belief, we say we have faith in the unseen, but it's not totally based on nothing. It's based on solid foundation. It's based on testimony of individuals who trust to be recipients of divine wisdom and divine knowledge, who has perhaps even seen heaven and hell and passed on the information to us. We haven't seen, we accept it. You go by testimony as well in your everyday life.
I'm following what you're saying.
That is why when we talk about how to ascertain reality, we can examine these books. Whether these books indeed are from the unseen creator. Because we can have measurable, objective criteria. We apply and then say, that's it, I'm certain. Because we have to apply these measures. When you cross the road, you have already measured it. Like, if I don't cross it in a certain time, the fact that okay, I have to run because a car is probably going to hit me, you measure all the time. You have a good objective way of measuring where you live. You can measure any book that claims to be God objectively as well. This is what I was discussing initially. How we can objectively measure that this communication is indeed from God and not from anything of the creation.
That's what I'm interested in.
Good.
Sure, that's what I want to know.
Yeah, because the creation will people suffer from all limitation, imperfection, weaknesses, deficiencies.
Cool.
So
Understood.
we would expect a book from God to be free from all of these things.
Right.
It would be perfect in its things it describes about natural phenomena, things it describes about God himself. It would describe a God which is perfect. You and I will agree, even in concepts. So it just says something about the book itself. This book was from any other than God who be able to imitate it. Bring a chapter like it, 10 chapter or a whole book like it. Why is it that people who were masters in the Arabic language and the Quran came in their language and they were unable to do that, even to this day?
Well, I've heard this argument a number of times, and it confuses me a little bit.
What is confusing?
Well, when you say that it's like it's perfect or it's masterful,
I didn't say it's masterful or
what did you say?
I said it challenges people to imitate it, to bring something like it.
But what would be? But how? What are your criteria to make it like it?
First of all, to know what's the likeness of it and what's the unlikeness of it.
Right.
Yeah. So we can compare this Quran with the pre-Islamic poetry, and we can compare the Quran with the speech of the people at the time of when it was given.
Okay.
Of the people around the Prophet ﷺ.
Right.
So you have the three genres there: Islamic literature, the Quran, and the people around them and their speech, and their literature, and their narrations, and their poetry, and their orations.
Okay.
So when we look at it, the Quran actually is not prose or poetry or any of the statements they have in their linguistic constructs, linguistic expressions. It has its unique form. So now we are getting to know that there is actually some way of objectively measuring it. Because in poetry, for example, the Arabs had certain types of poetry, and they actually had a limited number of them, 16. Okay? We call them bihar. So they had something called like rajas, al-khafif, al-madi, al-tawil, and the list goes on to 16. Each one has its unique meter and rhyme. Okay? So if you say la 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 la, this is one form of rhyme and meter, right? The Quran comes and say, bring something like it. It is not poetry. In fact, it is not proper, not appropriate that the Prophet is actually teaching poetry. It is not even appropriate that he considers it. So it brings a revelation in a form of a genre, a linguistic genre, which is not any of the literature that Arabs see. And then the Quran then challenges, although the Quran challenges, to bring something like it. So at least we know that it has to be unlike what they're familiar with and like the Quran.
So a new linguistic form.
Like the Quran, as it brings. Why were people unable to do that?
Well,
That is the question that we should be asking the linguists, expert scholars of Arabic, whether they're Muslim or non-Muslim, throughout the 1439 years. Why do they consider it impossible? That is why lots of books throughout centuries have been written. One interesting book that comes to our mind, which gives an objective methodology, assessment criteria, and verification of this book. Because, of course, he's literate in the Orientalist works as well as the traditional works. Because people in Western world, when you look at Western world, Islamic world, we're talking about like a dichotomy of the traditions of how we understand the literature or the Quran itself as a text. Everyone has different approaches. So he brings the methodology that the Western world can accept and appreciate and use that as a tool to come to see whether the Quran can be imitated. So for example that I was gave initially but never quite finished is the Quran comes with this linguistic newness, innovation of this linguistic genre, yet remaining in pure Arabic that the Arabs were not familiar with. So every chapter in the Quran, hear this out, every chapter in the Quran has more of this linguistic innovation or rhetorical features more than the number of the words in that chapter. That's how the degree and the level of this linguistic departure from their norms, yet remaining in pure Arabic.
okay.
So when someone was to bring something like it, of course you have to bring something like it. If you have a chapter consisting of 3 lines and 21 words, so at least you have to bring the number of linguistic features, which will be more than 21, because that's what every chapter of the Quran is demonstrated to be. Okay? So the author I'm going to introduce to you is called Bassam Sa'i. He's written this book called Al-Mu'jiza, and there's an English translation of it, obliged. First volume is a methodology, unfortunately it's in Arabic, Second volume is the application of the methodology using several smaller chapters of the Quran and one big chapter of the Quran,
Right.
showing how the Quran is in this new form. So what one needs to do, if they're unable themselves, go and get support from experts of Arabic language and try to imitate it like this.
I have another question. It's related. So I've heard that the Quran ideally should be read in Arabic. Does the message or does the perfection of it change when it's translated? You know what I mean?
Message can be understood in almost every language that can be translated into. Because when we say, for example, we're speaking English, if I were to now translate the discussion in a different language, I'm able to do that. But translation always has its limitation. Because a translation is only good as a translator knowing the language that they're speaking, translating from, and the language being translated into. That's why if you compare translations of the Quran in English language, for example, you will see there are deficiencies in almost every single one of them.
Does that not make it perfect?
No, it makes the translations imperfect.
Sure.
Yeah.
But when the person reads the message,
when the
they're
Quran,
not getting the right message.
you should be able to get the message. But when the message you want to know exactly the beauty of it, actual details of it, then of course the original cannot be replaced. The original gives you the full message. For example, a word in the Quran, say God is al-Ahad, Qul huwa Allahu Ahad. Now you can translate that as Ahad means one. He might